Hey y'all. How y'all doing? Happy birthday to you. Y'all come in. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Want to give a shout out to all my TikTokers. I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers, the new and the ones who've been with me from day one. And y'all, I'm back with this Ronny Walker case now. I don't know what's going on and why going on, but I'm about to put my feet on the ground. I'm about to put my feet on the ground, not the boots on the ground. Y'all, this for educating, entertainment, commenting, educating purposes. This man right here, y'all, something that y'all don't know about him. Everything I say is allegedly, but really, I don't done my research, and that's why I'm back. Now, I did a trial on Ronny Walker earlier. I know by observing this man right here, I know that he's putting the blame on everybody. He putting the blame on everybody but himself. He is a convicted K. He is a convicted killer. And this man right here, with his superpowers, somehow got released. Somehow this man and his power got released. Some kind of way was released. And when he was released this first time, he was, oh Lord. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? He was released, y'all. And when they see, I believe that the justice system be failing on purpose sometimes in some states. He already on. And then he was released. Then he striked again in 2022 in Florida. Y'all let a convicted killer out. What? Oh, I guess we're going to let him out again. He blamed today, tonight, tomorrow, the afternoon, wherever he is in your country. You will find out that he continued to blame everybody. Robbie didn't do this. Robbie didn't do it. What the other dude name? I don't remember names. I know Erica didn't do it. Neither one of the Ericas did it. He did it. Robert said, you're going to hear Robert say that he only heard 2 shots. If he heard 2 shots today, we listened to the autopsy, and the autopsy said she got shot 4 times. Who is Ronny Walker, and why is it him and them lips keep getting away with stuff? I don't know. But we gonna find out though. Check it out.
To killing someone.
Why is he keep hold up. Why did man keep getting out of jail, y'all? Why is he keep getting out of jail? He's a convicted killer and he out of jail. Soon he got out of jail 6 months later. Listen, y'all. Y'all, he took one lady out of here, broke in her house, and killed her. And they convicted him for that. He got convicted for that. For taking her. I don't understand the law, y'all. I don't understand what went on here. Why was he released back out on the street and then 6 months later he unalive Nilexia? You know who it is? That judge. Same judge that y'all saw today. What do y'all think? Do y'all think they gonna overturn this? Huh? That let you know something wrong with the system. Why was it important to put him back on the street? Why? Hmm. Y'all know why. Y'all know why. Y'all looking at it. Y'all looking at it. Y'all look what color the lady got on now.
Veronica Denson knows from experience the pain 44-year-old Ronnie Walker is capable of inflicting.
This is a animal. They just need to just keep him locked up.
That's one family, y'all. This family right here is not Nilexia family. This is this woman family, another couple family. These are things that the law and the judge know he is capable of doing. And he strikes again.
These
Playing superpower with this man. They doing the same thing in this case. They trying to overturn this case, y'all, for some hearsay. This is the same thing they trying to do now, y'all.
physical evidence.
The only thing that they got for themselves. That man got more power than anybody.
She was seen on video getting into his car minutes before.
The system didn't really fail. It's a fact of, that's just, unfortunately, it's a very tragic circumstance. We can't incarcerate people for the rest of their lives based on charges that don't require that.
Our legal
Y'all let that man go if y'all want to. I don't think he gonna make it this time, y'all. Now look, let's drop that and go here. Now I got to bring y'all back here because I'm gonna take y'all right here. Our key witness. He blamed Robert. He don't blame Robert. He don't blame the other dude. He don't blame all his superhero friends. This is Robert's Creed. What his name? Creer. He beat Ronnie Walker. Blamed this man right here. Y'all remember y'all saw him got out the car at the gas station. He said Ronnie shot her. He said that he heard 2 gunshots. Ronnie don't blame everybody. See, Ronnie is know the system. He got out free the last time. It was overturned. Hearsay. Now Ronnie can't get away with it. They first at the beginning, y'all. They said that he did it. Robert did it. At first, it was overturned. They said Robert did it. Robert said, y'all just heard the case. I showed y'all the case today. I showed y'all the trial today. And I'm coming back here because I've been on this case. I'm on this man, but I want Ronnie locked up forever. Because first of all, this is his second time unaliving women. This is the second woman. With that kind of power he got, he doing something, y'all. Now, he accused Robert, because Robert was in the car with him. Whatever the jury, the one got, the jury people, the one is voting guilty and not guilty. Let's see what Robert has to say. Poor Robert was accused. Robert, he'll accuse you of doing this. He said you shot. Robert didn't hit but only 2 shots, y'all. We talked about this today in the chat. We were saying that she was still alive when he shot in the chest and shoulder. Shoulder, when that bullet came through the shoulder, her scapula, it came through. When it came through one side of her head, it like kind of like tried to go out the other. But on the left side of her head, she was still alive. Now, I don't understand why him, Robert, only heard 2 shots when it was like 4. I think it was like 4 shots, I'm not sure, but it was more than 2 shots. From what we heard today, where were the other shots at? When did he shoot the other shots? 2 in the head, and it supposed to be 1 in the chest. It's supposed to be like 3 or 4. See, somebody. Why they playing? Y'all think he lying? He said that Ronny shot her. You think he trying to get out of jail? He's our key witness, y'all. Let's listen to him. He changing his mind about stuff.
He got mad and went to screaming and yelling, talking about, get out of his car, get out my car.
Robert Creed Jr. details what he says happened the night of May 6th.
I heard a gunshot. I looked in the back seat, I seen her holding like her chest.
He says Walker had been driving around looking for Nilexia that night. When she got in the car, he says Walker asked if she was having sex with others before shooting her. Prosecutors questioning whether the two had been in a relationship.
Telling me, don't say nothing, don't tell nobody, don't tell nobody. Or he'll gonna kill me too.
Right now, Creed is facing
I
charges
believe.
for accessory after the fact. The defense arguing he's the real killer, saying he's just trying to put the blame on Walker.
One of the benefits that you've received is after agreeing to testify, the prosecution agreed to erase that bond for you.
They picked apart his testimony, during which he claimed he never met Nilexia before that night, even though phone records show multiple conversations between the two. Creed claiming someone else used his phone.
Is it your testimony that somehow this coincidental friend in common...
You know what? The dude who took the stand today, I'm not going to try to remember their name. I don't want to remember their name. But we saw it earlier when we was on. You remember the other dude said that Ronny didn't use his phone? Ronny used Robert's phone. Come on. Now, Jerry, if y'all don't convict this man, they convicted him the last time, but they let him out. They better not let this joker out this no more. Not Robert, but Ronny. Oh, let me hear Rob again. Let me hear Rob again. I can't believe it. Let me hear Rob again. I just can't believe this. I just can't. I can't. How a liar keep getting he get convicted, but y'all let him out. Judge.
And leaving your body in a vacant lot in 2022.
Sad, man.
Explains, just a few hours ago, the only person who was with the two of them that night testified, and so did Nilexia's mother.
He got mad and went to screaming and yelling, talking about,
He got mad and went to screaming. Talking about get out of his car. So he gonna take this 14-year-old girl somewhere. Made her get out the car and then take her life. Not Robert, but Ronny. And we back here with his superpowers. Going to get convicted. Because he don't lie on everybody he know. He has lied on folks' sons with dreads. He don't lie on everybody but himself. But they keep witness right here. He said, I ain't about to stay in jail not for no running. Ronny gonna put all that blame on me, talking about I killed the girl. Shoot.
Get out of this car. Get out my car.
Robert Creed Jr. details what he says happened the night of May 6th.
I heard a gunshot. I looked in the back seat. I seen her holding like her chest.
He says Walker had been driving
See,
around.
when she was holding her chest, the autopsy, the young lady, I see, look like everybody, look at her. What is going on? I just, I don't know.
Looking for Nilexia that night. When she got in the car, he says Walker asked if she was having sex.
My thing is, she is 14 years old and he ain't before the phone. Why is she not afraid? Why are these young girls not afraid? Her confidence is so here because he got her like that. Making her think that it's like that. Why would she want to choose to live that life when she had a good life with a foster mom? Oh, Lord have mercy.
With others before shooting her. Prosecutors questioning whether the two had been in a relationship.
You telling me don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Or you're gonna kill.
I believe it. I believe it. Like I said, we ain't got no problem. They did convict him the last time.
Me too.
Right now, Creed is facing charges for accessory after the fact. The defense arguing he's the real killer, saying he's just trying to put the blame on Walker.
One of the benefits that you've received is after agreeing to testify, the prosecution agreed to erase that bond for you.
They picked apart his testimony, during which he claimed he never met Nilexia before that night, even though phone records show multiple conversations between the two. Creed claiming someone else used his phone.
Is it your testimony that somehow this coincidental friend in common that you have with Nilexia Alexander gets a hold of your phone at almost 3 o'clock in the morning and they're communicating? Is that your explanation?
Yes, ma'am.
Nilexia's mother also taking the stand.
I don't think he have to lie about that. I don't think that after that man threatened him like that, don't you know that man sitting on that stand scared now? Told y'all he probably pimping.
Today. Her mother detailing Nilexia's behavioral issues after learning that she was adopted.
She started running away.
Do you personally know why she was running away?
Looking for her parents.
Her family later learned Nilexia
My thing is, this could have been handled better than this foster mama. Did you talk to her and tell her that you'll try to get it where her mama can come over there to see you? Did you anyway? How did you communicate it this with her? She wasn't but 11 at this time, asking about her mom. How did you handle this situation? It's no way this made her run away. Something sent her out there in the street. Not all of a sudden now she wait till she get in the 6th grade. 6th grade. And start questioning you about that. What is going on? Why would she want to start doing it and she love you and you the only one that took care of her since she was 2? Something ain't right about this, y'all. Something ain't right about this case. I'm telling y'all. Something ain't right.
had a secret phone but did not know who she was contacting. The trial resumes tomorrow.
Well, that's what we saw today. And lastly, I want to share with y'all before I go. I'm not going to hold y'all long. It's just some stuff that I found today. I am so shocked. I am just shocked. I am in shock. Ain't no Eric to take the stand now. We don't have any meaning mind more of today. We don't have any meaning mind more that this man, oh Lord, in a wheelchair, Jesus Christ. What in the world going on? Lord have mercy. Y'all, I just want to come in here and show y'all this. This Eric, y'all.
Can I confess something, Lama?
I'm all ears.
Since you recommended
Wow,
Manila
hell,
come say
man.
eye blocks, work got so much easier.
I know.
He look like he's, oh, he ain't smell, he look like that.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Rder Walker,
Sir, where do you currently live?
2926 Temple Street.
Is that where you lived back in May of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you lived there?
I've been there 7 years.
Okay. Well, sir, I'd like to turn your attention to May the 6th of 2022, around 3:08 a.m. What were you doing around that time?
We was hanging out in the yard, gambling and smoking, family things.
Okay. Can you please get the microphone a little bit closer
Okay.
and make sure it's on? Is it on? Is the green light on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you were just hanging out with other people.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the people you were hanging out with?
It was several of us, a whole gang of us, because, like I said, with that spot we hang out and be us.
Okay. And while you were spending time with other people hanging out, what, if anything, of significance happened?
Well, we was walking towards the gate, coming out the gate, and it was a gunshot that caught our attention. So after the gunshot, we heard a few more. So a few more shots. So I got on the bicycle to circle a block to see what was going on. So as I got to the Highland and Florida Nebraska,
Right?
which is a dead end, I come down, cause it's right by our house. You can yell across the gate. And I see somebody, a girl, laying on the side. So I yell until I think there's a body back here. So I try to get help for her, running to door, trying to get
Did you
help.
have a cell phone?
I didn't have a cell phone at the time, so I had to go back because nobody would answer the doors. But I was on the Ring cameras at people's houses.
Okay.
I think they called the police on me because I was knocking too hard.
Okay.
So I went back to get help for somebody to call 911 with me.
So who did you go to get help?
I went and got Terry, one of my friends, Maddox.
Okay. And how far away would you say she was from where you saw the body?
After both of us got there, we was at the road. We was standing in the road first before the 911 operator asked, could we go up there and see if she's alive?
Okay.
But that one of us wouldn't do it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Would you say that from the time that you heard the 911 call, the shots, to the time you made the 911 call, there was a bit of a delay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'd say it was probably like 5 to 6 minute delay because I had to come back around to go get some help.
Okay, but you don't really know. Did you have a watch? Were you paying attention to the time frame?
No, ma'am.
Okay, but you do know that there was a delay,
Yeah,
correct?
it was a delay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you saw this individual, did you recognize her as someone that you had seen before in the area?
I reckon I speculated it was one of the girls that be round there. You feel me? So
Sit
You
down.
speculated, but did you recognize the
no, I didn't
individual?
recognize her
Okay.
at all.
So you had never seen
No,
her before?
I never got up close to the girl until the 911 operator asked her to try to get up there and said she living.
Okay, so while you make the 911 call, how do you get about the position where you make the 911 call? Was it Terry Maddox's
Yes.
phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did she make the call or did you make the call?
She made the call. I was still knocking on doors as she was making the call.
But ultimately, did you chime in and also speak during that 911 call and give more information to the 911 officer?
Yeah, because she was on speakerphone. She had the phone on speaker, and I could hear the operator.
Okay.
Like I say, she was trying to see if one of us would go up there to see if she was alive, but now one of us would do it.
But did you get closer and determine that she was not responsive?
I didn't get that close. You feel me? I just stepped.
He said he didn't get that close.
Outside the road.
Jeez.
Okay. And sir, this location, this Florida, Nebraska, and Highland, is that in Hillsborough County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, may I first witness? Or actually, yes. Have I shown you photographs from the crime scene, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize these, the images in these photographs?
Yes.
Are they a fair and accurate representation of the location that you went to on May the 6th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence state exhibit A1 through 8.
Say it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Publishing state exhibit A1. Is this the location that you went to, Florida, Nebraska, and Highland?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you describe that location for us?
Yeah, it's on the dead end.
Sit down.
It's on the dead end. It's one house on the left hand side. Then it's an open field.
So it was like
That's
an
it?
empty lot.
Yeah, just empty lot.
Okay. So state exhibit A2, is this an accurate depiction of this empty lot area?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A3, is this how you found the body?
Yes, ma'am.
A4,
Yes, ma'am.
in the time in which you saw this body and went back to get someone who had a phone, did the movement of was the body moved in any way?
No, ma'am. It was
Okay.
still the same.
She remained in that exact same
Yes,
position.
Well, we appreciate
Did
you.
you tamper with any evidence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Did you move the body in any way?
No, ma'am.
Did you touch this body or shove this body?
No, ma'am.
Okay. State exhibit A5. Okay. Again, is this another angle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that baby dirty.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
State exhibit A7.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get it clear. Okay. Okay. Did you have anything to do with the death of this individual?
No, ma'am.
And beyond hearing the gunshots and getting on your bike and looking to see if someone was injured, did you have any other involvement in this?
No, ma'am.
And after you called 911, did you stay on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you give a statement to the initial officers when they asked you what you saw and what you heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Terry Maddox stay on scene and do the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Later on, did detectives arrive on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they also interview you?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it recorded to your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you completely cooperate with the process?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the time, on May the 6th of 2022, were you in a wheelchair?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So at the time, you could walk, you could ride your bike, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And at the time when you got on your bicycle and went into this location and saw this body, were there multiple people just
No.
around this body?
No,
Okay.
ma'am. The only one that showed up was the police, and we
Okay.
where it was.
And that's all, to your knowledge, that's all the involvement When the police arrived, then people started showing
Yeah,
up. Is
started
that
coming
correct?
out the door. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But before then, there were no civilians.
No civilians.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, Your Honor, may I have a moment? All right, no further.
We appreciate you, bruh. We do. Tell on them.
Mr. Walker, you have no relation to Ronnie Walker.
No, ma'am.
Right, just happen to have
Yeah,
the same last name. Wanted to make that clear.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in a wheelchair today because you've had knee surgery.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you said you were kind of hanging out with some friends near where you live when you heard the gunshots.
Yes, ma'am.
This area at that time of night, we're talking sometime around or after 3 o'clock a.m., there's quite a few people out and about. Is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, the reason why you hopped on your bike to go around the corner is because you wanted to check and make sure it was nobody that you knew that got hurt.
Well, that's not the question. What caught my attention was the gunshot.
Of course.
Okay.
After you heard the gunshots, you wanted to make sure that no one that you knew was involved.
Right.
Okay. And that's when you happened to come upon the young lady that was on the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you first saw her, tell me if I'm wrong, but would it have taken you, let's say, less than 5 minutes from where you heard the gunshots to the time that you actually go and see her?
Well, I traveled a couple of blocks over.
Okay.
Just make the round back to where my area.
Okay, so we're talking a couple of blocks and you're on your bike.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you try and get some help. Nobody will answer the door for you.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to get the help first. I started knocking on doors. My bicycle was in the middle of the street. You feel me?
Sure.
Okay, I just started knocking on doors. Nobody would come to the door. All you see was lights coming on. You feel me?
Okay. And that's when you decided to go back and get Miss Maddox?
Just get somebody else to help me.
And then when you went back to the scene with Miss Maddox, were you both on bikes at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so again, just a couple of minutes from that couple of blocks over?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So all in all, the time between when you heard the gunshots to the time that you called 911 or Miss Maddox calls 911, what is the time frame that we're looking at?
I say I give it like 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay. Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Ronny. Why you do that, baby, like that, man? You sitting up in court with a suit on.
All right, nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you, mister.
Now, sir, today, is that the first time that you've had an opportunity to speak to me and Miss Dunker?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to listen to the 911 call?
No, ma'am.
Or watch any of the body worn camera?
No, ma'am.
Or to be fresh in the time frame in this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if the evidence is that at 3:08 the gunshots were fired and the 911 call comes in at 3:58,
What she say wrong? This is court. That defense lawyer remind me of Jobs Butt attorney. Cause she don't want to hear the truth.
so you have been asked a lot about timing, and is it safe to say that on the day you didn't check your watch, correct?
No, ma'am.
You didn't ask the deputies, hey, what time is it? How long have I been riding around or anything?
No, ma'am.
So, the time frame
Stop
that
it.
we have is that the shots were fired at 3:08, and the 911 call that you ultimately got Terry Maddox to make was 3:58.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're just doing the best you
Yeah,
can.
Yes, I was just trying to get her some help. That's it.
Okay. But you acknowledge that you heard the shots, you talked to other people, is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't talk to nobody but Terry and the police.
Okay.
But when I went back to get them, I told people, I said, I think there's somebody around.
Okay.
That was it.
All right. And then ultimately you then had to look for someone to help you with the phone.
They'll go with me to help me.
All right. So there was, in fact, a delay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you use words like a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, you're just doing the best you can to give a time frame. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Well, how many shots did he hear?
Yes, sir.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay.
We appreciate your testimony.
Your Honor, this time say we call Abby Pittner. Officer Abby Pittner.
You guilty, brother. You guilty. And look at him. He trying to get his attention. Ronnie trying to get his attention. Look at him. Look at Ronnie. Look at Ronnie. Right. Ronnie trying to get the witnesses to look at him. Ronnie ain't nothing to play with, y'all. He know he did that to that girl. He know he the one did it. Y'all, I'm just bringing y'all back here because of the trial that we saw previously earlier today. So I want to play catch up. I'm kind of behind a little bit because I cover other cases.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, my first name is Abby. My last name is Pittner.
Okay. And where do you work?
I work for the Tampa Police Department.
How long have you worked with the Tampa Police Department?
For 4 years.
What does your job entail?
Currently, I'm a field training officer. I primarily answer calls for service, conduct proactive activity, as well as training our new recruits.
Okay. Well, I'd like to turn your attention to May the 6th, 2022. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity?
I was a patrol officer assigned to Zone 2, Sector F, District 3.
And what does that mean? What's the location?
Yes, so Zone 2 was my assigned area. I was responsible for covering calls, any kind of incidents that would come out in that area were my responsibility.
What is that area?
That area is Tampa Heights, so it's near Armature Works, south of MLK.
Okay. Well, I'd like to turn your attention to about 3:58 a.m. Was there a call for service that came in?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And based on that, what, if anything, did you do?
It came out in Zone 2, which, as I said, I was responsible for. So I was assigned to that call, and I made my way to the area of the call.
Okay. And about what time would you say you arrived at the area?
I arrived a little after 4. I believe it was around 4:03 a.m.
And were you the first officer to arrive?
Yes, I was.
Where exactly did you respond to?
So I responded to, I believe it was the 100 block of West Florabraska. It's Florabraska and Highland.
Okay. And is that in Hillsborough County?
Yes, it is.
When you arrived there, what, if anything, did you come in contact with anybody?
Yes, I did.
Who did you come in contact with?
I came in contact with our complainants for the original 911 call, which was Miss Maddox and Mr. Walker.
Eric Walker.
Yes, Eric Walker.
Okay. And when you came in contact with Eric Walker, what, if anything, did he do?
So I asked them to point me in the direction where they needed me, where they had observed the subject lying or the victim lying, and they pointed me in the direction of an empty lot.
Okay. And when you came in contact with Eric Walker, what was his general demeanor?
He definitely seemed agitated to me, maybe a little bit flustered or stressed. He was kind of pacing back and forth. I would say he was probably a little loud, which I view as an indicator of stress.
Okay. All right. And how about Terry Maddox?
She was very, very anxious, very agitated. Her face was red, glassy eyes as if she'd been crying. She was unable to sit still, kind of frantic.
Okay. So basically, to your point, did they seem surprised, shocked, upset?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so based on this, did you go to the location that they pointed out to you?
Yes, I did.
And what did you observe?
So the area where they directed me to was about mid-block on West Florabraska on the south side. It was an empty, vacant lot, mostly overgrown with grass. And upon approaching it, I immediately observed the female victim lying on her right side, about 5 to 6 feet from the roadway on the empty lot.
Okay. How did she appear?
She was lying still. Upon approaching her, I did not observe any signs of life. I did not observe any chest rise or fall. She had glassy, fixed eyes. At that point, she appeared to have been deceased to me.
Okay. Did you observe any injury?
I did.
Can you describe that to us?
Yes. So she was lying on her right side with her arms kind of curled in, and I observed there to be a wound on
She
the
was
back
holding her
left side of
chin.
head.
Okay. And did you
Chin.
observe any blood at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you do anything to manipulate the crime scene?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you see Eric Walker or Terry Maddox do anything to manipulate or change the crime scene?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did Eric Walker stay for further interviews?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Did you speak with him further?
Yes.
And did you have your body-worn camera on at the time?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And was it activated?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And to your knowledge, when law enforcement have their body-worn cameras and they're activated and used, is that something that is in discovery also disclosed to the defense?
Yes.
Okay. And your body-worn camera was preserved, is that
Yes, it
correct?
was.
Okay. And to your knowledge, it was also disclosed to the defense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in that time, did you interview Eric Walker?
Yes, I did.
Did he answer all your questions?
Yes, he did.
Was it recorded via your body-worn camera?
Yes, it was.
While you are at the scene, does he still stay there waiting for other officers?
Yes, he did.
And to your knowledge, did he stay and was he interviewed by other officers?
Yes.
How about Terry Maddox, this other person who provided the phone?
Yes, she remained as well.
And was she interviewed as well?
She was.
By you?
Yes.
Okay. Was she interviewed after that by other detectives, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, yes, she was.
Okay. Now, while you are there, does another individual come to the crime scene to provide you with information?
Yes.
Who is that person?
That was Mr. Warren.
Is it Alan Wallace?
I'm sorry, Wallace. Yes, that would
Okay.
be correct. My apologies.
Does that help refresh your memory?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And when you come in contact with this individual, does he volunteer information to you, or is it a situation where you go and have to knock on his door to provide you with information?
No, he volunteered information. He approached me when I was standing by my vehicle.
Okay. And did you ask him questions?
I did.
Was he completely cooperative?
Yes.
Okay. And was the interview with Alan Wallace documented via your body-worn camera?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Now, after these interviews, did you interview anyone else?
No.
Did you stay at the crime scene?
Yes, I did.
Did you do anything to preserve the integrity of the crime scene?
Yes.
What is it that you did?
So I remained on scene. I blocked the entrance onto Nebraska for vehicle traffic, so nobody could come in or out of the crime scene.
Okay. At some point, quickly after you got to the scene, was crime scene tape put it up?
Yes, it was.
What's the purpose of that?
So the purpose of that is just to delineate our perimeter, so that way the public knows that this area is off limits. It's to assist us in keeping people out of the crime scene to preserve the evidence.
Okay. And at some point, to your knowledge, did other detectives, crime scene investigators also come to the scene?
Yes, they did.
And did they take over at that point, processing the scene, documenting the scene accordingly?
Yes.
Did you have any further involvement that day?
No.
Did you have any further involvement later on?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Wait. This man right here. You, Ronnie, you and your superpowers. You going down this time, bro. You ain't coming back out. Yes, sir. This is second woman you don't did this to.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what is in evidence as State Exhibit A1. Is this an accurate depiction of the location you responded to?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at him. Trying to act innocent. Screaming in that boy.
State Exhibit A7. Is this the condition of the body when you came upon it?
Yes.
Okay. And is it safe to say, State Exhibit A8, you did not put these crime scene markers down,
No.
correct? Okay. But while you're there, other law enforcement officers come, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is it customary to document the scene accordingly and to put evidence markers?
Yes.
Okay.
Stop, camper.
You were the first officer on scene, is that correct?
Yes.
Obviously, you do not know and you cannot control what happens to the scene prior to you getting there. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that's correct.
So if anyone was walking around, moved anything, touched anything, took anything away, you would have no knowledge of that.
Correct.
Okay. Now, after you get to the scene, obviously, you make some efforts and your fellow officers make some efforts to ensure no one else is in the area.
Yes.
But when you got there were at least 2 people there, those people being Eric Walker and Terry Maddox.
Yes.
And the deceased was located sort of in an empty lot, but there are houses surrounding that lot, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Across the street, next door.
Yes.
This is sort of a lot that's been cleared, maybe to build on or to something like that.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Mm-mm.
Okay, nothing else. Thank you. Yes.
His privacy cloned in regular life. You really need to talk.
So y'all, thus far, what we heard about, what y'all heard about, what's the chat name? Ronny. Y'all think he guilty or not guilty? I think he's guilty. But if you don't think he's not guilty, tell me why you don't think he's not guilty. It's too much. It's too much evidence. Every witness come up there. Oh my God. I can't that. I don't want how can people do this. I'm glad that boy went on try to get her some help. I appreciate Eric doing that. And I'm glad Robert told on him too. Thank you, Robert. Cause his superhero powers is not gonna work this time. Not this time.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy, if you can please state your full name and spell your last name for the record, please.
My name is Mark Montano, spelled Montano.
And how are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been working with the Sheriff's Office?
Just under 26 years.
And in what capacity are you currently working with the Sheriff's Office?
My current job title is a digital evidence analyst, working in a discipline under forensic video analysis.
All right. Prior to that, what was your other work with the Sheriff's Office?
I started with the Sheriff's Office in 1999, working as a patrol deputy and detective.
All right. Now, if you can explain to the jury, what is forensic video analysis?
Forensic video analysis is the scientific examination, comparison, or evaluation of video in legal matters.
All right. So, can you tell the jury what exactly you do in the capacity that you serve for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
Sure. I respond to major crime scenes to assist detectives with recovering video surveillance and other digital evidence from crime scenes.
All right. Now you work for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. This is a case that involves the Tampa Police Department. Do you sometimes work with them?
I do. On occasion, I'm requested to assist other agencies as well.
And you have no problem doing that? There's no conflict with the Sheriff's Office to assist other law enforcement agencies?
No, sir.
All right. Can you briefly summarize the training and experience that you have that allows you to do what you do with the Sheriff's Office?
Sure. In addition to attending security conferences for approximately 10 years, I've sought certification and training for a few entities. One being the Law Enforcement Emergency Video Association. They offer a certification for different levels of forensic video analysis. I'm also certified through an organization referred to as NATIA, which is the National Association of Technical investigators, where I've also obtained a certification for that as well. I've attended an entity referred to as a FLEDC, which is a
Do
federal
we
law
have to hear all
enforcement
of this?
center in terms of recovering evidence from CCTV systems and otherwise.
Okay, so it's safe to say you're very knowledgeable in how to obtain videos, how to calculate the times on the videos, and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, can you explain to the jury how you first became involved in this case?
Sure. On May 6th, I was requested by Detective Weiland with the Tampa Police Department to assist them in recovering video surveillance from a scene where they were working a homicide investigation.
All right. And did you, in fact, go to that scene?
I did.
And did you, was there any particular location you went to look for a video camera?
I went to 3000 North Highland Lane. It was a residence.
Okay. And did you meet with the owner of the residence?
I did.
Okay. And what did you do when you got to that residence?
The owner allowed us entry into the residence to review their camera system that they had.
All right. And tell me about their camera system. What camera system did they have? Do you recall?
I don't recall the exact brand, but they had a camera system that encompassed 8 camera views, primarily on the exterior of the residence, which included 2 views at a minimum of the front of the residence.
All right. And did any of those views offer, or at least appear to go towards the area where the victim had been located in this case?
Two of the cameras specifically seemed to point in a direction where the Tampa Police Department was conducting their homicide investigation.
All right. And were you able to
Y'all, I wonder.
download any video?
Now y'all know we gon' stop it here now and then. I wonder. Hold on for a minute. I wonder I wonder who was Nilexia living with when she met Ronny. Because how in the world did she meet Ronny? I know they always mean something out on these dating lines. A lot of these men tell lies about their age. A lot of the girls tell lies about their age. I wonder, how did she meet Ronny? Did she meet Ronny through the Facebook, Instagram? Where did she meet Ronny at? And who was she living with at the time? And who introduced them? Because it's awkward. It's a grown man. You know what I mean? And Ronny is known for who Ronny is. So how she get involved with Ronny, and why he take her to that area?
What that is?
I do.
And what is that?
This is a camera angle that was of video footage from a camera angle from the front of the residence.
All right. And did you, in fact, recover that video?
I did.
And did this video fairly and accurately depict what it shows in that video?
There's one thing I'd like to add to this video. There's a time differential in that video that was also established upon looking at and reviewing the system. And from my memory, it's about 7 minutes and 55 seconds behind the actual time.
Okay, explain to the jury how you do that. What does that mean?
Wow.
So most of these camera systems have a date and time stamp, and we've probably all seen it in the news before, or on TV or otherwise, or even on our own personal systems. Not all the time are these systems configured to be exact in a way that it embeds the date and time stamp, meaning there might be some delay, there might be some offset, and this is very common. So it's important to establish the date and time differential using what I refer to as U.S. Naval Observatory time, which is a standard used for reference in establishing that.
All right. And so with this particular video in State's Exhibit number 7 from 3000 North Highland Avenue, you did find that there was some differential between the actual time and what the time says on the recording.
That's correct.
And what was that differential again?
By memory, I'd like to say it's 7 minutes and 55 seconds behind.
Behind.
Yes.
So if it says on this that it was the car turns down the ray around 3 o'clock, it was actually 3:07 on actual time. 3:07:55.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to be clear about that. Judge, move State's Exhibit number 7. Judge, may I publish at this time?
Wow, that's strange. With the time, that's strange. So instead of being 3 o'clock, it's 3:07. It's weird. I think the defense attorney in it. I ain't gonna say that.
Now, while this is playing real quick, Deputy, the time here now shows 00-02-26. What time is that actually?
I'm not so good at doing this on the stand, to be honest with you. But it would be the reference that I made minus what the current time is.
Okay, but that's much earlier in the night. That from when this allegedly occurs, correct?
That's
What?
correct.
All right. So I'm going to. So when you downloaded a significant time period. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And when you recorded this, you recorded basically what you downloaded on that day. Would that be accurate?
That's correct.
All right. So I'm going to fast forward here. Now we're at 2:59 and 19 seconds. So that's 2 a.m. or almost 3 a.m. But you're saying this is 7 minutes and 55 seconds back, so that's really closer to 3:08, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that's when we see the vehicle come down that road?
Yes, sir.
So he looking for her. He don't see her. I wonder did
Detective, this was the view from that house at 3000 North Highland where you obtained this video, right?
Yes, sir.
I wonder did Ronnie just up and want to see her that night? The reason why she had to try to. Who was she living there with right here? That's what I want to know. Who
So
was?
we're now at, according to the timestamp on this, 3 o'clock, but that would be 3:07 and 55 seconds.
Approximately.
Right. That's what you said. He must just call her and said, "Where are you?" I don't even see the clock. I think he had plans to meet her, but she wasn't planning to meet him that day. I think he got upset and wanted to see her, meet with her. There you go.
Now, Detective, there is what appears to be like a white, bright kind of line coming down. Do you know what that was?
I can't tell you what exactly it was, but from my experience, that's typically indicative of a spider web on the camera.
So if a spider web comes across the camera lens, it will pick up that reflecting light off the spider web.
It
Yeah.
will reflect, precisely, it will reflect the IR light of the camera.
Okay. Now, Detective, were you asked to respond to any other locations while you were assisting in this investigation?
I was.
And where else did you respond to?
I also responded to the Radiant Church located at 3205 North Boulevard.
Now, is this area somewhat close to the location where the shooting occurred?
From my recollection, it was somewhere in the vicinity, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And were you able to download video from that location?
I was.
And were you able to find video that demonstrated a vehicle that matched the kind of description of the vehicle that we had just seen?
I did.
Sorry, you can say that?
I did.
Okay. I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 11 for identification. Do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
Those are my initials.
Okay. And did you in fact put this CD together for the office?
I did. Yes, sir.
And does it fairly and accurately depict what you were able to download on that day?
It does.
All right, Judge, move to have State's Exhibit number 11 admitted into evidence. Move to publish. Deputy, on this video, do you recall, was the time correct on this video?
No, sir, it was not.
Okay, what was the time differential on this video?
From my recollection right now, it was about 10 minutes and 47 seconds faster than U.S. Naval Observatory time.
Wow.
All right, so hold on, let me go back here.
I think he got mad with her because he looking for her.
Do you recall what the time was on this video when you downloaded it?
So, placed on the disk are actually two different files. One of the files plays with the player that you're utilizing now. The other file plays with a proprietary software that allows you to actually see the time in the video.
Okay. And do you recall what the time was?
It's somewhere in the vicinity of 3 a.m. Onward, I don't recall the exact time.
3 a.m.
This application wouldn't change it, would it?
I thought
No,
that's
sir.
when he met
So
Erica.
this is what we would have to rely on.
Yes, sir. I believe the application opened in the background. If you
So he met Erica at 3:30.
minimize that one.
Okay. But either way, your recollection is that it was around 3 a.m. that you captured that car coming by.
Yes, sir. And if you'd expand that window there.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry, this
confused.
window.
Yes, sir.
Because I thought he said he,
The reference of time is given there at the bottom
I see it
as
right
being
down here where it says
3:21.
3:21.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit.
let me see no clock.
And you indicated that 3:21 is how much? What was the time differential? What was it off?
By memory, I'd like to say it's 10 minutes and 47 seconds.
Fast or slow?
Faster.
He said,
I'm not good with math either, but we're talking about around 3:10 a.m. basically.
Approximately, yes.
Okay.
and he met Erica at 3:30. I think, how could he meet Erica at 3:30 and it's 3:10 now? Ooh wee.
Deputy, were you asked to do anything else in this case?
I was.
And what was that?
Detective Weiland reached out to me and requested that I put a timeline compilation together of the videos that were collected in this case.
All right, and did you do that?
I did.
All right, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 19. Do you recognize that?
I do.
And what is that?
I recognize my initials on the right-hand corner there.
And what is this a video of?
It's a timeline compilation of several videos that were acquired or recovered during the investigation, to include the last two that we just viewed.
And does this video fairly and accurately depict the combination of all the videos that you recovered on that day with reference to this vehicle?
Yes.
All right. Judge moved out State's Exhibit number 19 admitted into evidence.
Y'all, this is weird. The time, if y'all go back into what we listened to earlier today, if it's 3:10 by his hour, 3:15, 3:20. So he said he met Erica at 3:30. So soon as he did what he had to do to her, soon as he had to do what he had to do to Nilexia, he immediately went over to Erica's house. And Robert said he only heard 2 shots, but it was 4. That's weird. When did the other 2 shots occur? If she got shot 4 times. So I gotta ask the question. Do y'all believe Robert? I do believe Eric. Eric's story compares with the officer on the her cam record. But the time, the shots that Robert's saying, he ain't here but 2. That throwing me off. What happened to the other 2 shots? What happened to the other two shots? That's weird. And then y'all got to realize too, you got to ask, do anybody have any mental issues? I haven't heard that come up either. He could have heard four and thought it was two.
All right, Deputy, and other than what you've done as far as downloading these videos and creating this combination video with all of the other videos that have been were obtained, did you do anything else in this case?
No, sir.
All right, Judge, I have no further questions for the Deputy one time.
Mm-mm.
Morning, Mr. Montana.
Good morning, ma'am.
You said you've been doing the digital evidence for how long with the sheriff's office?
Approximately 8 years.
Okay, and you said prior to that you worked as a patrol and then worked your way up and was a detective
Yes, ma'am.
before you got into the forensic side of it with the video
Capper.
evidence.
That's correct.
So you've had familiarity with conducting investigations, writing reports, things of that nature.
Yes.
Okay. And in this case, in reference to the investigation of Mr. Walker's case, did you ever author any kind of report related to what you did in the case?
Outside of your email correspondences, my report is essentially limited to the photographs that are taken during the time of acquisition of the systems and whatnot.
What does that mean?
Essentially, during the assessment and collection of this video, there's things that are memorialized in the way of screenshots that will reference the date and time that I was at a location and whatnot. All the same things that would be in the report.
And are those part of the case file?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And do you write down or author anything related to what video you actually collected, what time frame you collected, and what the time differential might be?
So all that's memorialized in those screenshots as well.
But you don't author a report related to that?
The report would simply reference the same thing that the photographs do.
Did you review any of those photographs prior to today?
I did, yes, ma'am.
Okay, because when you were testifying earlier about the time differential in some of the video, including like the North Highland Lane, you said by memory.
Yes.
So were you referencing anything on the exact time differential between what the actual time is and what the time is reflected in the video surveillance?
Yes.
And what was that for the North Highland Lane?
Again, by memory, I'd like to say it's, and I'd have to refer to that screenshot as well, which accurately references the exact time differential. I'd have to refer to that again, but I believe it was approximately 7 minutes and 55 seconds.
You said
You're
8.
not sure that's exact.
I'm fairly confident, but I'm not exact without referencing it again.
Okay, you don't have that screenshot with you.
I may. It may be in a computer file.
Okay, but not with you, but while you're there on the stand.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And when you go to collect this evidence, this is a different law enforcement agency that you're assisting with, right?
Yes.
And so when you go out, you're not involved in the actual investigation of the case itself.
No, ma'am.
So as far as identifying any kind of suspect vehicle, what may have happened to a decedent, anything of that nature, you're not involved in that.
That's correct.
And you're not involved in that really when you get involved in cases for the sheriff's office either, typically.
To answer your question, I generally am responding out there to acquire the evidence and not necessarily analyze it or review it unless requested to do so.
Okay. And in this case, you weren't requested to do any analyzing of the video evidence.
I would ask that you narrow the question to what type of analyzing.
Well, you tell me, what analyzing did you do of the video at 3000 North Highland Lane?
In terms of the video, I mean, analysis can go on infinitely. So, essentially, my involvement was limited to establishing the how many cameras were connected to the system, the date and time of the system, how it was recording.
Okay, if it functions.
If what functions? I'm
The
sorry.
cameras, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If the cameras function and what those cameras capture.
Yes.
Okay, and that isn't anything that you need any specific training on. It's just basically you looking at what the camera system displays.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay, when you go into someone's house, are you looking at what their camera system shows you?
Yes.
Okay, and you're able to do that when they show you what their cameras collect, right? What angle it is?
Typically, I'm the one navigating the system.
Okay, so you're navigating the system for the homeowner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the homeowner doesn't know what angles the camera captures?
I can't testify to that today. I would imagine they do. It's their system.
Okay, do you have any conversation with the homeowner, like at 3000 North Highland Lane?
Outside of requesting permission to access the device, no, because my involvement is limited to the device and the functionality of the device.
And you said at that North Highland Lane, there were 8 camera views, but you only collected the camera views of the 2 from the front of the residence. Is that correct?
I collected more, but those were the only views that displayed the area where the investigation was being conducted.
Okay, so you collected views from all 8.
I'm inclined to say so.
Okay, do you know that for sure?
Not without referencing. I will say this. I will say that, yes, I did collect all 8, going back to my memory. To answer your question.
Okay, but you don't write any reports saying you collected from all 8.
No, again, it's limited to the screenshots,
Excuse me,
which
guys.
essentially illustrate the
About
same
picking
thing.
up.
Okay. And when the state was asking you about the view from that video surveillance at North Highland Lane, you said what was shown in the video is typical of a spider web. Did you actually go out and physically look at the camera at all?
I'm sure I did at some point, but I didn't get so close to notate that it was in fact a spider web.
Do you all take any photographs of the cameras or the camera angles from where you're capturing?
Yes.
And when the state was asking you about the time frame and you said you're not good doing this on the stand, you're talking about subtracting or adding from what the timestamp you're seeing on the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when you're talking about what the relevant time frame is in the case, since you're not conducting the investigation, you're leaning on what the detectives are telling you is the relevant time frame. Is that right?
That's correct.
And typically what you all do is you collect a time frame before their target time and a time frame after, correct?
Yes, ma'am. By standard practice, I typically will go and recover. I typically will put a buffer of. It really depends on the case, but and what's being told to me at that time. Sometimes if it's 5 minutes, sometimes I might add 5 at the front, 5 at the back to really compensate for a time differential.
Okay, and in this case, in the Highland, the 3000 North Highland Lane, do you know what time frame you collected?
I'm inclined to say from about midnight to when the Tampa Police Department's response was to the scene.
Do you know that for sure?
Yes.
Okay. And then the 3205 North Boulevard, the Radiant Church as well. Like these locations that you're going to, these are identified by the investigators that are investigating the case, and then you're just called out to that specific location.
That's correct.
You're not yourself walking the neighborhood and looking to see where cameras are.
Sometimes I do, but not in this instance.
Okay. And so when you go to that North Boulevard, the 3205 North Boulevard that we saw on States 11, same thing. You said it was a time differential of 10 minutes and 47 seconds. The camera was faster than what the actual time frame is.
Approximately.
Okay. Are you involved in doing any kind of enhancement to any of these videos to be able to see anything clearer?
On okay.
Get the money you need with Fast Loan Advance. Request from $500 to $35,000. Fast, secure, and 100% online.
On occasion, that's requested, yes.
Was that requested in this case for any of the video that you observed?
It was requested and essentially to review it during the process of reviewing it, and that could actually be done utilizing this a standard player here where it allows you to essentially zoom in a little bit.
Okay. So other than being able to zoom in, was there anything else that you did to enhance any of the video?
Not that I can recall right now. No.
If I could have one moment.
I mean, these people don't even know their job.
Deputy, other than the zooming, nobody asked you or to enhance any videos, correct?
No, sir.
All right. Deputy, in preparation for your testimony today, did you send me an email kind of lining some of the stuff you did?
Yes.
And if I show you that, would that maybe refresh your recollection as to the exact time differential there was from that 3000 North Highland video?
It would.
Okay, I'm going to show
We could just see what he's showing.
Yeah.
It's the main thing is if he convicted, y'all gonna overturn it again for the third time. Cause he's gonna turn out to be guilty. Cause all evidence is pointing at Ronny. Even the clock. Ronny has superhero powers, y'all. That's how come it was overturned.
If I could read to the court.
I'm just asking, does that refresh your recollection?
It does.
Okay. And Deputy, now that your recollection is refreshed, what was the exact time difference?
I'm sorry, can I just get one more time? It's 7 minutes and 55 seconds behind for the address of 3000 Highland Lane.
So that's what you had testified to earlier. So that's what you wrote down. That's what you recall. It is 7 minutes and 55 seconds behind.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
7 minutes. Okay, I thought he said 8 from the very beginning. But he said 7 minutes. So if it's 3, it's 3:07. If it's 3:07, it's like 3:20. Okay. For those who just joined, this is the second half of the court that we didn't see. We got to play catch up. Y'all know we doing a lot of cases, covering a lot of cases, so we catching up. Ronny just, from what I hear, it's enough evidence pointing at him and how he left her precious little body. It doesn't make any sense. And he left her on a corner in the field. Ooh, goodness. Wonder how long he been going with Alexa. Nilexia. I wonder how long have you been going with her? Who we waiting on now? Let me skip it. If they taking a break. Oh, they taking a break. Hold on. Y'all, only thing we doing is reacting on the trial, especially the part we didn't see. So I guess Let me see. Yeah, they bad now. Just want to skip it to the next witness. Mm-mm. So thus far, do y'all think he's guilty? Not guilty? Mm-mm. Who is she? The mama? I wonder, do anybody have any insurance on Nilexia? What? I just ain't never seen nobody do nothing like this. Not no sugar daddy. Man, he worse than Henry Dinkins. Henry Dinkins did the same thing Jarvis did. Henry Dinkins did the same thing Ronny did. All these pimp slick daddies, sugar daddies. Y'all ain't hitting on nothing. All these big backs walking around here, y'all don't want none of them. You want all the little backs. Judge, you better not let that boy back out of here no more. They keep convicting him, you letting him go.
Publishing or okay. I'm just gonna play. You can look at it.
Mm. What are them apartment or houses? There's some big houses. Big square houses. Now, there go Alexa. Nilexia. 14 years old outside this time of night. What happened to running track, playing soccer, being a cheerleader, on the dance team? But she wasn't but in the 6th grade. Well, she was 14 in high school.
Is this in its entirety video from your ring camera? Yes. Okay, it's an accurate depiction of what you would have given the police access to. Is that correct? Yes. Is it motion activated? Yes. Okay, so if there was no further movement, we wouldn't see the car move or anything else. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence 3A1.
No objection.
So in other words, her ring works.
Yes.
So that's the only thing they want with her? Is to ask her, do her ring camera work? I know. Please don't tell me that y'all call that girl out her bed. Ask her one question. I like her job.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, if you could please tell the jury your name.
Aaron Campbell.
And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a sergeant with Tampa Police Department.
How long have you been working as a sergeant with the Tampa Police Department?
Well, I've been with Tampa Police Department since 2010. Was a detective for quite a while, corporal for a while, and now sergeant.
All right. I've been calling you detective. I apologize.
No,
Sir.
issues.
All right. And that's a promotion, I guess, from detective. Is that
It
right?
is.
All right. Now, sir, what back in 2022, what position did you hold at the Tampa Police Department?
Detective within the homicide unit at Tampa Police Department.
All right. And what are the general duties of a homicide detective?
To conduct death investigations and specifically homicide death investigations.
All right. Back in 2022, how long had you been working as a homicide detective?
Oh, gotta think of what year I went over there. I think I went over there in 21. I think when I went over there.
Okay. Prior to TPD, did you have other law enforcement experience?
Yeah, I started at Polk County Sheriff's Office.
I'm gonna skip a little bit. Just a little bit.
Explain to the jury what the duties are of a crime scene detective.
So I'm going to get on scene. Of course, I'm going to meet with people, be briefed on what is known at that time. I'm going to be shown the scene, and then at my direction, I'm going to work with our crime scene analyst, and we're going to go through that scene, mark evidence, collect evidence, photograph evidence.
All right. Did you go out to the scene in this particular case?
I did.
Do you recall at what time you arrived to the scene?
Yeah, it was 5:35, I believe it was, in the morning.
All right. And was it dark when you arrived?
It was.
This was in May of 2022, correct?
It was.
All right. If you can, kind of describe to the jury what you saw when you arrived, what you did when you arrived, kind of just go through the basics of that.
Yeah, so I arrived in the area of 109, 110 West Nebraska Avenue. It was an abandoned lot on the south side of the roadway. We had a female victim lying in that open lot area. So at that point, everything had already been secured by crime scene tape prior to my arrival, and it was going through and determining items of importance to just document and to ultimately collect.
All right. I'm going to show you what's already been introduced as State's Exhibit 36A. Take a look behind you. Do you recognize that location?
Yes, I do. That blue little marker up there, that would be the vacant lot I was just referring to.
What happened to the cameraman? He lazy too.
By that blue dot that says West Nebraska Avenue. Is that basically the road that it was?
Yeah, that is the road.
All right. And this occurred on. So you went out there, and this is on Highland in Nebraska, right?
Yeah, the closest intersection or corner, there's Highlands. And
Left the girl on the intersection.
Number A1. That's kind of the marker.
He didn't even care.
All right. Now, when you are setting up a crime scene, what are your duties? What kind of things are you going to do once you've made your initial view of the crime scene and looked at it? What do you start doing?
Well, we're going to do an initial walk through the crime scene, kind of get a lay of the land, so to say, and then we're going to start marking specific items of evidence with evidence markers, mostly for organization purposes.
Stop.
All right, and you said you lay out markers, correct?
We do.
Do you also do kind of a crime scene diagram from time to time?
I do.
And when you do a crime scene diagram, do you have a specific location from which you make your measurements?
You try to pick a fixed marker that is not going to leave and be gone in a month or 2 months or maybe even a year. So for this particular one, I picked a telephone pole to measure everything from.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked in State's Exhibit A2. Is that in fact the telephone pole you use in order to make your measurements?
That is.
All right. Now, when you're out there, you work with, I believe you might have said, sorry, you work with other crime scene investigators? And,
yes.
Do you kind of direct them as to what you want collected, what you want photographed? Is that how you work?
That's correct.
All right. Is this one of those overalls that you did?
It is.
And what are you documenting here with this photograph?
The scene as it was found.
All right. So this is prior to any markers being placed down, prior to you all actually kind of going around and really inspecting it. This is just kind of what it looks like.
That's correct.
Arrive. Okay. And then A4 is kind of the same thing, just from a different angle.
Yep.
All right. Now, after you have done the photographs of the overall, and obviously in this particular case, you know, do you also photograph the objects and stuff prior to putting markers down as well, usually?
We do.
Okay. Now, once you start laying the markers down, do you then do photographs with the evidence markers also in place?
We do.
So I'm showing you.
Come on now, let's get to the real nitty gritty.
Are these in fact some of an example of the markers being placed down that indicate pieces of evidence that you believe may or may not be relevant, but you mark them anyhow? Is that right?
That's correct.
So, and let me go back to that and ask you that. So when you mark these things, what information do you have about the case?
Depending on the information gathered at the beginning, it can be very little to a lot. At this point, we knew we had a dead female laying there. It appears to be a homicide, but that's all the information we had at the time.
All right. And so do you know, like, everything there, what it will be or may not be relevant down the road?
No idea.
Stop.
Do you mark things just kind of as a precaution and to take them into evidence?
That's correct.
All right, y'all. Let me get to the new. Let me skip it to the real part. Cause okay, right here. Right now, what is it? Okay.
Looking at a shell case.
Okay. So here there's two specific items that you are marking so that it can be clear.
So that's
right?
3.
All right. So in A15, this is a more close-up view of of marker 2. Is that right?
Yeah. So let's batter on the leaf.
Okay, so that's
and
2.
A16, would that be
So
a
it
bit
was
more
3
close-up?
shots
Yeah.
or 4.
Take a picture. Yeah. So closer up view.
All right.
You must have shot her 3 times. I thought the lady said. I think the lady said 3 times. The autopsy analysis. Oh shit.
3 was a casing, correct?
The shell casing.
So if we look at State's Exhibit A15, zoom in a little bit here so it's more clearly visible.
Yes,
Is that in fact the shell casing you all found out there that night?
it is.
Right. Now, when you find a piece of evidence like this, do you take that into evidence? Like, do you take it into custody, basically?
We do.
All right. How do you all do that?
The crime scene will
So she
collect
got
that
shot 3
piece of
times.
evidence, place it in an envelope. It'll go back to the office, get entered into evidence. It can also undergo testing in-house for NIBIN and other types of things, and eventually goes off to generally Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
All right.
Okay.
Let me skip it a little bit.
Then fitted inside of that shell casing is a projectile, which is what's referred to as a bullet. So when the gun fires, the casing can do one of two things. If it's a revolver, it can remain in the gun. If it's a semi-automatic pistol, it would be ejected from the gun, and then the projectile would leave the barrel towards wherever
Okay.
it had been
We don't
pointed
need
at
to know
that
that.
time.
We do, but we don't.
A49. So just a more close-up view of that.
Yep, the same.
And again, is that marked for later identification?
It is.
purposes?
It's marked with number 12.
All right. So, State's Exhibit A50.
What's
Is
that number
is
12?
that the projectile with the marker?
Yes, sir, it is.
12.
Now, these items, they are, in fact, that you find out there, taken into, or diagrammed first. Let me get into the diagram first. You all diagrammed it?
Sure.
Right?
Yes, I diagrammed it.
Okay, and when you had mentioned earlier that you use a telephone pole that gives you the distance, so there's a central spot where you can say where everything is from.
That's correct.
I'm showing you what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2 for identification. Do you recognize that?
I do. It's the diagram of the scene along with
Let me skip a little bit, yeah. Let's skip to this.
Now the markings on the projectile itself, you did not do those markings?
No, sir.
Okay, do you know who or how it was done, or
I do not.
Okay. Were these items sent to be tested?
Yeah, they were sent to Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Okay, let me skip it to the defense attorney. Here we go. Here she go.
You talked a little bit about the process of collecting the items. Now, at all times when items are collected, you and or the crime scene investigators are wearing protective gear,
That's correct, yes.
such as gloves on your hands.
Yes.
And you are doing that, and they are doing that, so that their own DNA or fingerprints do not transfer onto the items.
That is correct.
Okay. And that's sort of like crime scene 101. Everyone knows that that's what you need.
Very basic rules, yes.
Right. Okay. All right. Are you also involved in decisions with regard to which items to fingerprint for potential fingerprints and which items to swab for potential DNA?
Yes, but then they also have latitude as well. When they get back to the office, they're doing further examinations of the items and sometimes determining the best path to take. But yes, we all work together on that.
Okay. If there's something that you specifically want done, is that something you would communicate to the crime scene investigator?
Yes.
But in addition to that, I think what you're saying is that the crime scene investigator themselves, they can make that determination, oh, I should probably swab or take fingerprints.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you make any special requests for any items to be fingerprinted that were collected?
No, not at that time. I did not.
Okay. Did you make any special requests for items to be swabbed for DNA that were collected?
No.
So the shell casings that were collected from the ground, that there was no request by you to swab those for potential DNA?
That's correct.
And no request for potential fingerprinting evidence to be done?
That's correct.
You talked about also attending the autopsy, and that's something that's fairly normal for a homicide detective.
That's correct.
Right.
Almost always in one of these cases where a death is being investigated, there's going to be a crime scene investigator and a detective there.
Oftentimes.
And are you there just sort of as an observer to watch and see what's going on?
Watch, observe, and to learn.
Okay. And were those your roles in this case as well?
Yes, I'm not performing any special function there.
Right. While you were there, though, at the autopsy, I'll talk specifically about this case. Are there swabs that are taken from the decedent herself?
There are.
And those swabs are taken by either the medical examiner or the crime scene investigator?
Generally by the medical examiner, and the medical examiner people that are there, that their techs are generally doing all of that. The crime scene, if we bring our crime scene, they are generally only photographing. They may take a piece of evidence back with them, but that's generally only after it's been obtained by the personnel from there.
Do you recall specifically there being swabs taken from Ms. Alexander's body in this case?
There were.
Do you ultimately collect those and forward those on to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Okay.
So they would collect them, they would have them as evidence there, then they would transfer those to us at Tampa PD. They would wind up in our evidence, and then, as in this case, I did take those and submit them to the FDLE lab for further analysis.
And when you say they take them, they collect them, they transfer them, you're talking about the medical
I am
examiner.
talking to, yes, when I say they, I'm talking about them.
Okay, all right. And in addition to swabs, I asked you about, do they also take fingernail clippings, they again being the medical examiner's office?
Yes, fingernail clippings, scrapings, and other things, yes.
And all of that swabbing and all of those clippings are collected to determine if there's any foreign DNA?
Yes.
Okay, and when I say foreign, of course, to Miss Alexander, the decedent.
That's correct.
Okay. And with regard to a conversation as to which items should be sent to FDLE for further testing, are you part of that conversation?
Generally, I am.
Okay, and were you part of that in this particular case?
In the initial parts of this, yes. The beginning of the investigation, those first 2-3 weeks in, I was.
Okay, and also part of that conversation, I'm assuming, is going to be the lead detective.
That's correct.
And the lead detective in this case is Detective Jacob Wheeling?
That's correct.
Can I have a moment, please, Your Honor?
She really don't have any more questions to ask you.
Nothing further. Thank you very much, sir.
I told you. It ain't nothing you can ask him. That's it.
Have a good day.
Yeah, he to me, this shouldn't take no 3 weeks. But I guess you have to hear all the witnesses. I think they got one more witness. So we don't heard some good witnesses today. Eric, the officer, the detective, the main detective, not detective, but the camera analysis, and Robert. So we had some great witnesses today and evidence that Ronnie is allegedly a murderer, a convicted murderer. That's for the second time. But I doubt. I doubt. I think this is for the death penalty. Cause he's not gonna get out this time. Here go another officer. Lord have mercy. Phew. I'm gonna skip it a little bit because I don't want to hear all his background. I want to get to the real nitty gritty. So I'm gonna skip. I'm going to get it to. Wait, hold up. I can't skip too much. Right here, y'all. I'm gonna start with him right
Video
here.
appeared to capture the sound of gunshots.
Yes.
You may need help with this volume just to make sure I have it right. Where's the volume? It's at 100, so it'll come out right. This video is the time and date on the top. Were you able to verify that it was in fact accurate?
I was down to the minute in real time.
Down to the minute in real time. All right, now I'm going to fast forward here a little bit.
Three oh seven. Thank Lord for the ring camera in that neighborhood that night. So I wonder who she was staying with over there in that neighborhood. Ronnie did some cuckoo for Cocoa Pop stuff. $308. He should be coming through. He should be coming through now. It's 308. I don't know what taking him so long. This is a different camera to me. Different ring camera. Oh, that's the shots.
Yep, it missed the first
That's
shot.
three.
Try it again. All right, I'm going to rewind that a little bit because the first shot doesn't come out. So
Right. Sound like 4 shots to me. That sounds like 5.
And when you recorded this, you heard those shots back then when you got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you then took this and put it into evidence. Would that be accurate?
I actually gave the flash drive directly to homicide detectives.
Okay, to homicide detectives. All right.
And he just looking like he ain't shot nothing. Probably feeling good at the time. Who knows? I heard about 4 shots.
All right. I have no further questions. This witness, Judge.
Here she come.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Officer, obviously you did not hear those sounds live for yourself, correct?
No, correct.
That's something that you discovered sometimes later, long after you had arrived at the initial response scene.
Yeah, the sounds I heard was from the video only.
Okay. And about what time was it that you responded to the scene itself?
I can give you my report.
Do you have that with you to refresh your memory?
Not with me, no.
Okay, if I have a copy on my computer to show it to you, is that all right?
Yes, sir.
She's something else, boy. She ain't playing with it.
May I approach the podium? Thank you. Sorry, I know it's a little unorthodox, but if that refreshes your memory, just have a look and let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay? Is your memory now refreshed as to what time you may have arrived at the scene?
Yeah, approximately 4:31 a.m. on May 6th, 2020.
4:31
You're
a.m.
not one of the first people to arrive at the scene, correct?
No.
By the time you get there, in fact, the scene's already sort of roped off and other officers are already there.
I can verify that other officers were there on scene first, yeah.
Have a moment here. Thank you, officer. No other questions.
Okay.
No, sorry. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, no objection.
Thank you, sir.
They through with him. See you later, alligator. I heard 4 shots and then 4. How did Robert hear 2 shots instead of 3? He act like he got the hell on. He ran or something. I don't know. I don't understand that part. But I believe Robert though. Here come one more witness, y'all, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. But I have to play catch up, because y'all know tomorrow I did. No, it did.
Now, Mr. Wallace, I think you indicated that at the time you were watching this vehicle, you heard gunshots. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am publishing what is now in evidence of State Exhibit 6. If you can listen to it and...
Come on, lady. that girl like that. Come on. Shouldn't have took this long. I heard 5 shots. 6.
So are those shots consistent with the shots you heard?
Yes, those are. They are.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Just imagine how all us be laying in our beds and we hear shots like that and we just stay in our beds and go to sleep. I don't even see why she did that. That didn't even make no sense. All right, y'all. Let me see who else he about to bring in. These folk down here making money, but doing nothing. Okay, let's see who this is, y'all. Uh-oh. There go a woman. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what Erica about to say. I don't know if that Erica or not. They let Ronny out the first time so he can kill some more women.
All right, so it's
Allegedly, I'm
important
just
that
talking.
you know that you cannot say anything about whether or not the defendant had just come out of prison, whether he had been in jail, that he has been in jail since, that your thoughts as to your speculation as to whether or not he may.
So what you want her to say?
You are not allowed to speculate as to what the defendant did on the day in question. Whether the only thing you can testify to as is to what you have personal knowledge of. For example, if you were sleeping, you can't say, "Well, maybe the defendant was here or there." You can only indicate what you know. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, where you are of the opinion that on the day in question, the defendant may or may not have loaned anyone his vehicle. If you weren't awake to know that, you are not allowed to speculate about that based on what he told you. Do you understand? Oh, is that a yes for the record?
Yes.
Okay. Um, where even as it pertains to your phone, where you indicated to me and an investigator that you had given Ronnie Walker the passcode and he knew your passcode, you then went on to speculate as to whether or not he may have given it to others. You are not allowed to do that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, whatever question I ask you, you just need to stick to the answer and information that you absolutely know with personal knowledge, not from what the defendant has told you, not from what you've heard on the streets, and not from what you might have even heard from Robert Creed or anybody else. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All rise for the jurors.
Don't look at Ronnie. You ain't gotta be scared of Ronnie. Cause we gonna keep him locked up for a while. Him and Henry Dinkins and Jarvis. See, I asked that question about about Jarvis too. Will they overturn anything that somebody would say? He don't care.
So for the record, this witness, I had to clear up some things real quick. So she's already been placed under oath, took her oath, so you don't have to worry that she wasn't sworn in because we already went through that. And it's all set whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. Can you please say your full name for the record?
Erica Corbett Sweet.
I'm sorry, can you speak louder, please?
Erica Corbett Sweet.
Okay.
That's the girlfriend.
And, ma'am, how old are you?
42.
Are you currently employed?
No.
Okay. Do you know a person named Ronnie Walker?
Yes.
Do you see him in court today?
Yes.
Can you please identify him by an article of clothing? By something he's wearing?
A suit.
Can you point him out and tell us a description of what he's wearing?
A blue blazer suit.
They're not showing a
Okay.
face
Where's
here.
he's sitting?
In front of me. To the left.
Okay. May the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
It will reflect the identification.
Okay. Now, how do you know Ronnie Walker?
An ex-boyfriend.
He's an ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
About how long have you dated him or been in a relationship with him?
About 3 months.
Okay. 3 months?
3 months.
What do you mean by that?
Right.
3 months.
Okay, so as of May the 6th of 2022, about how long had you been in a relationship with him?
About 6 months.
Okay. And did you continue to have a relationship with him after May of 2022 and leading into 23, 24, 25?
No.
Okay. But did you continue to have regular communication with him?
No.
Okay. All right. So, back on May the 6th of 2022, what was your phone number?
305-910-9779.
And is that still your phone number today?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Now, I'd like to turn your attention specifically to May the 6th of 2022. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Was there anything specific or significant about that day to you?
No.
Did you go out earlier that day and then head home?
No.
Okay. Do you remember around what time you went to sleep?
About 8 p.m.
Why did you go to sleep so early that day?
I had just left a party.
Okay, so you went to a party. Who did you go to the party with?
My cousin.
Okay. Did you go also with Ronnie Walker?
No.
Okay. When you were at the party, do you know where Mr. Walker was?
Home.
Okay. When you got home at 8 p.m., was Mr. Walker at home?
Yes.
And when we speak of home, are we speaking about your apartment?
Yes.
And where was that apartment?
At 1801 East 26th Avenue.
Okay. Unit D, Florida?
Yes.
Is that here in Hillsborough County?
Yes.
Okay. So, is it safe to say that at that time, Ronnie Walker and you were kind of staying at that apartment?
Yes.
Okay. And on May the 6th of 2022, when you arrived home at 8 p.m., what did you do?
Go to sleep.
You went straight to sleep?
Yes.
And when you were heading to bed at 8 p.m., do you recall what Mr. Walker was doing?
No.
Okay. And when you fell asleep at 8 p.m., do you recall waking up numerous times through the night or sleeping till morning?
Sleep till morning.
And to morning for you, about what time would you say you recall waking up?
About 6 a.m.
So you slept from 8 p.m.
Yes.
on May the 5th.
Yes.
Okay. Is that correct?
Correct.
Up until 6 a.m.
6 a.m. in the morning?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Man.
Do you recall waking up, going to use the bathroom or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
She
And in
would.
the time when you got home to your apartment, and went to sleep at about 8 p.m. Did you have this cell phone, 305-910-9779?
No.
You didn't have it?
No.
Okay. So,
Randy
where was
lied
it?
again.
In the car.
Okay. So, you left your cell phone in a vehicle.
Yes.
Which vehicle did you leave it in?
Ronnie's vehicle.
Okay. And what type of vehicle did Ronnie Walker have?
What?
A black Ford.
Okay. All right. And so, was there a specific passcode associated with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever share your phone with Ronnie Walker?
Yes.
At the time of this incident, was Mr. Walker's phone working? Did he have his own phone that was working at the time? Okay.
What? What you mean by you couldn't recall?
Was Ronnie Walker's phone broken?
Yes.
Okay. So the phone that he was using was your phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you tell us what would have happened from the time frame of 8 p.m. on May the 5th through May the 6th to 6 a.m.? Do you have any way of telling us that? Because you were asleep throughout, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Besides Ronnie Walker, did you give another person your passcode?
Yes.
You did.
May.
Categorically is what I'm asking you. Do you remember giving
Oh, no.
someone else your passcode?
No.
Okay.
Taking
so
up
you
for
did
Randy.
not.
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone by the name Erica Hudson?
No.
Do you know Robert Creed?
Yes.
How do you know Robert Creed?
A neighborhood.
Okay. Is he someone that Ronnie Walker associated with, hung out with?
Yes.
Had you seen him multiple times?
Yes.
And when you saw him those multiple times, was he with Ronnie Walker?
Okay. Yes.
I believe he done threatened her.
Do you know a person named Stanley Wilson?
No.
He done threatened that girl. See the way she talk.
Dr. Bad First Witness? I'm showing you what has been pre-marked as State Exhibit E1 through 5 that you previously had an opportunity to review.
Yes.
And do you recognize the images depicted in E1 through 5?
Yes.
I'm showing you State Exhibit 20C. Do you recognize this number as your phone number?
Yes.
State Exhibit...
Randy got his girls trained, boy.
Do you recognize this individual?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29. Do you recognize this individual?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29B. Do you recognize her?
Yes.
State Exhibit 30D. Do you recognize this as your phone number?
Got you.
Yes.
Got your face. I saw you. Why they hiding her face anyway?
Yes.
And at this time, the state would move into evidence. State Exhibit 30D, 29B, 29, 29C, 30C, and E1 through 5.
I mean, you didn't show it to the jury. How the jury seeing stuff? How are they showing the jury the picture, y'all? Oh, I guess they showing it up there. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what is now in evidence as State Exhibit 30C. Do you recognize this phone number up top?
Yes.
Okay. And on May the 7th of 2022 at 12:39, are you the person who wrote, "Cause it's me, Q"?
No.
That was Ronny. Because he's on somebody else's phone. So he gonna say,
State
cuz
Exhibit
it's me.
30D.
Wonder who is his cousin involved.
This number here, 305-591-09, sorry, 305-910-97. Had the number that was yours.
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
And is that your number till this day?
Yes.
So that means everybody got her number. Just gotta get that number
Looking at the
changed.
billing address for this.
She better change her number.
Yes. In which Ronnie Walker was staying at with you.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
State Exhibit 29. Is this Ronnie Walker?
Yes.
And at the time, is this the home that his mother lived at?
Yes.
Okay. And you were often at that home, is that correct?
Correct.
He feeling good. Mm-mm.
Showing you State Exhibit E2. Do you recognize the person depicted in this image?
Yes.
Who is that?
Ronnie Walker.
Yeah, man, you ready. Ooh, boy, you going to jail for life.
Who is this individual, if you can tell?
Robert Creed.
State Exhibit E4. Who is this?
Ronnie Walker.
State Exhibit E3. Is that another?
Yes.
Who is that?
Ronnie Walker.
E1.
Ronnie Walker.
You going down, baby. Look at the judge. You better not let him back out of there no more. I tell you that for sure. You better not let him back out of there no more. Not no more, but no more.
Your Honor, may I have a moment, please?
Oh Lord, what Jarvis Butts and Henry Dinkin attorney about to say? Oh Lord. Come on, honey. That girl spot. She know Ronnie. She know Ronnie when she see Ronnie. That's his girlfriend. Now here she go. Here she go.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Sweet.
Afternoon.
The dates can get a little confusing, so I want to try and clear something up. The party that you went to, that would have been on May. Sorry, go ahead. Take care of that.
Her phone going out in the court.
The party that you went to, that would have been on May the 5th.
Correct.
Okay. And do you remember what day of the week that was? Like, was that like a Friday, a weekend, a weekday?
It was, I believe it was a weekday.
Okay, all right. When you went to that party, you actually were using Mr. Walker's black Ford, correct?
Correct.
You were using his car.
Correct.
And your cell phone, you actually left by accident. You forgot the phone inside the car.
Correct.
And in fact, that caused some sort of a mix-up the next day.
Now that's hearsay.
Cross-examination. You leaving your phone in Mr. Walker's car, that caused a mix-up the next day where he was supposed
She
to come
said
get
the same
you,
thing.
and you were unable to contact him to tell him you had already left work. Is that correct? Do you remember that?
Correct.
And at the time, you were working where?
Tampa General Hospital.
And was that pretty common that Mr. Walker would come and pick you up from time to time at Tampa General Hospital?
Yes.
And is that because as an employee at Tampa General Hospital, if you drove yourself, you would have to park a bit of a ways away from the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. The phone that you were using, you recall that phone number, and that's the same phone number that you have today, correct?
Correct.
You mentioned Mr. Walker, and he, I think you showed us that the address that was listed on his DMV record was his mother's address, correct?
Correct.
And his mother's name, what is his mother's name?
Emma.
Emma. You don't recall the last name?
No.
Okay. She had a phone in her name that Mr. Walker used, like he was on her phone plan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You talked to Miss Fawcett about a passcode that you had on your phone. Do you remember her asking about that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you remember coming into my office and talking to me back in September of 2024?
No.
You don't remember coming to my office for a deposition?
No.
Okay. Do you remember, let's take me out of it. Do you remember going to an office somewhere downtown across the street to take a deposition? Or to give a deposition?
Yes.
Okay. Well, just take me out of it. That's okay. I'm not that important. During that time, were you sworn to tell the truth, much like you were earlier today?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember being asked questions during that time?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, counsel, I'm referring to page 27, starting at lines 9 through 18. And this is going to be a little long-winded. Let me know if you need to repeat it, but just let me ask my question, okay? Do you remember being asked, when talking about your phone, do you remember being asked, was there like a passcode on that phone? And you responded, no. Do you remember being asked that question and being given that answer?
No.
Okay. If you were to see a transcript from your deposition, would that help refresh your recollection as to giving that answer?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, may I approach the witness?
She don't remember nothing.
Have a look at that as much as you need to. Let me know when you're all done.
She gonna make you remember then. Why we can't see her face? Even though I seen it.
Have you had a chance to look at that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you now recall being asked that question? Was there like a passcode or something on that? And you responded no.
No, I don't recall.
During that same deposition, you were asked the question, so how would you usually get into the phone? And you responded, I just swipe up. Isn't that true?
I don't recall.
You don't remember. During that same deposition, you were asked the question, so you just swipe up and it unlocks?
What phone is that going off in the court? She doing that on purpose. She doing that on purpose, Judge. Take her phone. I bet you won't take it. Take it, Judge.
All right, I'll go back and ask that question again. During that deposition, you were asked the question, so you just swipe up and it unlocks, and you responded, yeah. Isn't that true?
I don't recall.
She trying to act like
during that same deposition,
Woody.
you were asked the question, okay, is that like, is there any kind of like facial identity? And you responded, no. Isn't that also true?
Yes.
You mentioned when Ms. Fawcett asked you about Mr. Robert Creed. You know who that is, correct?
Correct.
And does he go by a nickname?
Q?
Q?
Yeah.
Is that because his...
That's
you may or may
cute.
not know this, but his name is Robert Quincy Creed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you know Mr. Creed's family?
No.
Do you know Mr. Creed's cousin?
No.
You said earlier that when you went to sleep after the party on May the 5th, that you slept all the way the whole night through and did not wake up in the middle of the night, correct?
Correct.
So if there are any phone calls or text messages being sent from your phone at, let's say, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning or so on, would that have been you sending those messages and making those calls?
No.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Excuse me, y'all. Come here, camper. Excuse me, y'all. Ain't too much for me in this case.
Thank you very much for being here. I don't have any other questions for you. Yes.
Y'all notice girls like these them girls, young girls like them troublesome men.
That you were asked about, would that have been in September of 2024? Does that sound about right? September of 2024?
Can't recall.
Okay. But did you give a sworn statement in July of 2022? Did you come down and give a sworn statement with law enforcement in 2022 after the investigation had just started?
Yes.
Okay. And during that particular questioning, which would have been, what, a month, 2 months or so after the investigation started, do you recall being asked whether or not you did, in fact, and I'm citing court and counsel to page 27 of the sworn statement from the date that I've indicated. Do you remember being asked if you had a passcode for your phone?
Yes.
And do you, in fact, have a passcode for your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, in fact, have a passcode for your phone in May of 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I've just shown you stills from the Thornton's video. At any point in time, were you in that vehicle on May the 6th of 2022?
No.
Were you out and about at about 3 a.m.?
No.
Well, your boyfriend lied on you. How about that?
Did you know Nilexia Alexander?
No.
Were you in any way a part of murdering Nilexia Alexander?
No.
I believe you left your phone in the car on purpose. I believe she left her phone in the car on purpose, y'all. I don't trust nobody that dealt with him. And the way, what his name? The way, what his name? Ronny is. I know well she didn't leave her phone in no car. Cause he would have been calling her all night. All right, she gone. So who next? They got a little bit more time. Let me see who next, y'all. Another officer.
Received it to process it.
Yes.
Judge State, we move into evidence states exhibits D1 through D34.
Want to be clear for the record, D as in dog, not C as in cat.
Mm-mm. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start it right here. I kind of skipped it a little bit. Okay.
Overall, the pictures are demonstrating to you what the vehicle looked like on the day you were there to process it, correct?
Yes, it is.
And so any scratches, anything like that, that was how it was when you got there.
Correct.
Right. Do you in fact break the seals on this car?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that the purpose of that is so that you can go in and process the interior.
Yes.
All right. Showing you C4. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is the interior side of the driver's side front door.
Right. Now going back to, just to be clear, you can see it on C1. This is a four-door vehicle, correct?
Correct.
So there is an entry for both the driver, the front seat passenger, and then the rear driver seat passenger and the rear passenger seat passenger.
Yes.
Okay. So now C5 is again that door open, but this gives you a better view of the interior of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
C6, that would be the interior of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that's how it was when you photographed it. You didn't move anything, you didn't place anything. For instance, that cup that's over there on the passenger side, that cup was there when you opened it.
Yes, it was.
Right. C7. What are we looking at there?
That's the driver's side front seat.
And again, this is just to document the condition of the vehicle, what it looked like to you just with the naked eye when you're looking at it from opening it up for the very first time.
Yes.
Okay. And then C8.
The interior passenger side front door.
So what they got to?
C9.
I don't see what they doing.
Another view into the interior passenger side of the vehicle.
Okay. And then C10. That kind of looks straight through the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Right. And do you photograph like what's on the floors as well?
Yes, I do.
All right. So in C11, what are we looking at there?
That's the floor, the passenger side front floor.
And the items that you see in here, just random items, you collect those items from the vehicle?
We ain't even look inside a Jarvis car.
Pointed out by the detective, yes.
Then in C12, what is this a view of?
The interior passenger side rear of the vehicle.
All right, C13. Don't know why it's not.
There we go. Another view into the interior passenger side rear of the vehicle.
Okay. And again, kind of looking all the way through, and there appears to be a jacket hanging there, correct?
Yes.
All right. Was that the condition of it and where it was and how it was hanging when you opened up those car doors?
Yes.
All right.
Wow. It was hanging like that, like it's hanging on a chair. Whew, Jesus.
And C14.
That is looking down on the interior passenger side rear seat.
And C15.
The interior driver's side rear door.
Okay.
That's the code he had
again,
on.
When you unsealed it and opened it up, that's the condition and that's where the jacket was hanging.
Yes, that's correct.
When he went in that store. I believe Ronny think he cute.
C16.
This
again?
I think I misspoke. That was the driver's side rear door. Is that what I said? I'm sorry.
Oh, so he hang it up on a
I want to
hanger?
make sure I said the rear door. Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay.
And then this is looking into the driver's side rear interior.
Okay. Now, was the jacket moved at all to show the towel, or was that towel just like that? Was it all just like that?
It was like that.
Okay.
Why he got that jacket hanging up on a hanger for? That Ronny a
Just more of a
mess.
close-up of the towel that was there.
Yes, it is.
And a towel. Oh, Lord have mercy.
C19. What are we looking at there?
This is the driver's side rear floor.
Ronny.
C20. What do we see there?
That's that towel, and at this point I have moved the jacket slightly.
Okay, I was about to ask. So the jacket's now you moved it aside so that you can take the picture looking more at the seat.
Correct.
Okay.
Lord.
C21. What is that?
This is the driver's side rear seat. There is a can of carpet and mat cleaner there.
C22. Is that a close-up of that?
Yes, it is.
C23.
We are in the passenger side rear interior.
And C24.
There was a can of the carpet stain and spot lifter.
This is a different can.
This is a different can.
So there were 2 cans of carpet stain and spot removers.
Yes, there were.
C25. What are we looking at there?
The interior trunk of the vehicle.
Got that big speaker back there.
C26. What are we documenting here?
I have collected some items from the vehicle, and so now this is the driver's side rear interior after I've collected some of those items.
Okay. And this yellow sticker down there, what is that?
There was some red substance right there where that sticker was.
Okay. So you could observe it with your naked eye. You could see some red substance there.
Yes, I could.
All right, and that's to indicate where you saw it.
Oh, I can see it. Ooh, Ronny done gave up.
C27.
I'm getting closer into that red substance.
Okay. All right. So it's just to kind of show as you get a little closer.
Correct.
C28.
Again, closer in towards that red substance.
Now, can you show the jury kind of where you can see it? I see the sticker.
Yeah, because I don't
Where's the
see
red
nothing.
substance that you noticed?
It's like line like this here.
Okay. Did you do anything with that particular area of the car where you saw that red substance?
I did swab that area, and I also tested it with phenolphthalein.
You tested it for what?
Phenolphthalein
They
is
sure
a
come.
presumptive test for blood.
Okay. And what was the
Superman.
result of that?
Positive.
All right. And C29, is this in fact a picture of the swab that you took?
Yes, it is.
I want to see Ronny. Super power. Look how he do.
C30, what do we see here?
He
I
mad.
noticed that there was a little bit more red substance there, and I marked it as well.
Okay, so after you had noticed that one and swabbed that one, you looked
Look,
at
y'all.
you saw one right or a spot next to it.
Correct.
Okay. Did you do the same thing with that?
Ugh.
I did not test that spot. I just collected it.
Just collected it. Okay.
Goodness.
Now, you mentioned the phenolphthalein test that came back positive for blood. Do you also do anything else to the car as far as processing to determine or see if there's any blood or any evidence anywhere?
Yes, we use a chemical called Blue Star, which is a blood reagent that's used to help visualize not easily seen or traces of blood.
Okay. Now, going back to that swabbing, so what do you do when you make a swab? And you show the jury the picture of the swab with the red substance on it. What do you do with that swab after you swab it?
So that particular particular swab was just used for the test. I'd use a different sterile, clean swab that I then swab the area and collect, impound, and put into evidence.
Right, and do you mark it and indicate where you swabbed it, where the swab came from?
Yes, I do.
And do you seal that up?
Yes, I do.
And what is the purpose of that?
To impound into evidence, it can be later sent off for confirmatory testing.
Okay, so you don't do the testing yourself, you just do the swabbing, collect it, secure it, label it so it's identifiable, and then put it into evidence.
Correct.
Right, and then what happens with that swab later is usually decided by a detective or someone else. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
All right. So going back to the blue star, so you say it will indicate or possible blood. Now, could it indicate other things?
Yes, it can.
What else can it indicate?
You can get a false positive from bleach or some foods or some other metallic substances as well.
Okay. Did you use blue star in that area where you saw what appeared to be blood and that you swabbed and tested positive for blood?
Yes, I did.
All right, and did you get a reaction from the blue star?
Yes, I did.
All right, I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit C31. Is that, if you can show the jury where you see the blue star reacting?
Sure.
Yo, we can't even see.
From the reaction, that would be the blue star reacting.
The cameraman just terrible.
Now, this blue star, is it also sprayed elsewhere?
Yeah, it's on the seat and all in that area.
Ooh,
But the only
look at
place
that.
you noticed any of the blood or the blue star that it lit up or showed up was right there?
Correct. In this photo, just right there.
That photo, yes.
Wow. I wonder what Ronny thinking about.
What are we looking at there? I can see right here is where it was for the other stuff. What is the rest of that?
This is the interior driver's side rear door. That the part of the door that closes, and you can see the luminescence, which is that positive reaction from the blue star.
Okay, and that's along the interior of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now that jacket that we saw in some of those earlier pictures, did you take that jacket into evidence?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'm showing you what's marked as States C33. This is in fact the jacket?
Yes, it is.
That's your jacket, Ronny.
C34. That's the jacket with the hanger?
Yes, it is.
Cheap old jacket. Mm-mm. Mm. You and your superpower. Superhero. And the winner love him.
Now there are gloves up there. I'm just going to ask you to take a look at it without opening States Exhibit C28. Tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, this is the packaging that I had for the jacket, which is in here.
Okay, can you look inside?
Yeah.
Does it appear to be the jacket?
Yes, it does.
And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as when you took it into evidence?
Yes, it is.
Judge, at this time, move to have State's Exhibit number 28 admitted into evidence. Publish, Your Honor.
Yeah, I better put them gloves on. Y'all done Ronny jacket too? That's your jacket, Ronny. You won't see that jacket no more. Throw that thing away.
Did you do any processing of this jacket, or did you just take it into evidence?
I just collected it.
Okay, so any potential processing of it was done by somebody else, but not you?
Correct.
I'll be like, don't put that jacket over here.
Those are collected and taken into evidence as well, correct?
Yes, they are.
All right, I'm going to show you.
That boy going down. It's
What has been
over.
marked as State's Exhibit number 25A?
It's over for Ronny, y'all.
Okay. Just have it.
Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Does that affect your packaging?
Yes, it is.
And what is 25A? Can you tell where it was swapped from?
Yes. This is a swab from the driver's side rear door, the bottom near the door jam.
Okay. Was this the area that that lit up for, that tested positive for blood?
Yes.
Okay. So that's 25A.
Yes.
Judge moved to have State's Exhibit 25A admitted into evidence. State's Exhibit 25B. Take a look at that. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Does it have your markings and that you sealed it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Is that in fact a swab you took in that case?
Yes, it is.
And where is that swab taken from?
This is a control sample of the Blue Star.
So that's a control sample.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Because I sprayed the Blue Star and I added it to the scene, I wanted to take a swab of just the Blue Star by itself. Okay. So that is what this is.
And that's maybe for potential testing issues or something like that.
Correct.
$25C, again, I'm showing you. Do you recognize that envelope?
Yes.
Got all that evidence.
Does it have your markings?
Yes, it does.
And what is that envelope?
This is a swab that was taken of the driver's side rear roof on the interior.
All right. Judge moved to have State's Exhibits 25B and 25C admitted into evidence. 25B and 25C. All right, 25D. Take a look at that. Again, do you recognize that envelope?
Yes, I do.
Does it contain the markings of that you put on the envelope?
Yes, it does.
Does it identify where that swab came from?
Yes, it does.
And where was that swab taken from?
This is the red substance marked E on the interior driver's side rear door frame, which tested with the phenolphthalein.
Okay. So is that the same area again that tested one that showed up?
Yes.
Moved to have State's Exhibit 25D admitted into evidence. Show you State's Exhibit 25E. You recognize that envelope?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is that additional red substance that I swabbed that marked F, that second scale that I put down.
Okay.
Same area, driver's side rear door frame.
All right. Moved to have State's Exhibit.
Come on, man. Just take all of it over there.
Admitted evidence.
Jesus.
State's 25F. Take a look at that. Do you recognize that envelope and the markings?
Yes, I do.
And is that also your envelope?
Yes, it is.
And what is that?
This is a swab of the interior driver's side front window buttons after I applied Blue Star, which luminesced.
Okay. And does that is that in the same condition as when you swabbed it, basically? Or?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Moved to have State's 25F admitted into evidence. I'm going to show you State's 25G. Thank you. 25G. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a swab from the interior passenger side front door near the bottom door jamb after a Blue Star was applied.
Who told that girl, get out of my car?
I did.
Judge moved to have State's Exhibits 25G admitted into evidence.
This is so silly. And it's bad that we got we talk to your kids every day.
Other than the area down at the bottom that you tested with the phenolphthalein, did anything else in the car test positive with phenolphthalein, the phenolphthalein test?
With the phenolphthalein, no.
Did you attempt to lift any prints from this car or any items in the car?
Yes, I did.
And what items did you attempt to lift prints from?
Quite a few, but specifically that can of carpet cleaner.
Okay, the turtle wax?
Yes.
And were you able to obtain a lift, you believe, from there?
I photographed a print on there,
You
yes.
photographed. So let's explain to the jury like how you do lifts and how they work, because I know there's different ways of doing it. So explain.
Right. Depending on the surface, you might use a black powder to apply, and then lifting tape, and that would be like a physical lift that you would turn in. Some surfaces are better to use super glue fuming, which the super glue adheres to the print, and then I would use a dye stain, which makes that print more visible to the camera, and I'd photograph it, which is what I did in the case with the carpet stain.
Okay, you took a photograph of it.
Yes, I did.
All right. And what do you do with these lifts, either the cards that you lift or the photographs?
I turn them into our latent examination section.
Okay. So you don't do the examination of the prints yourself. You're not a print examiner.
No, I do not.
Mm-hmm. What else you got, bro? Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you what will be marked a second here. Is this, in fact, an example of the print that you took?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is that how it appears when you take the print from it?
Yes.
This is from the fuming or whatever that you just described?
Yeah, the super glue fuming, yes.
All right. And is this, in fact, the print you took from that turtle wax cleaner?
It appears to be, yes.
And this is State's Exhibit number 34 for the record. All right. Does it appear to be in pretty much the same condition as when you took it?
Yes.
All right. Moved up State's Exhibit number 34, admitted into evidence.
Mm-mm.
Just to be clear, so the jury can see that this is what you observe when you take the picture. And you put the little ruler there?
Yes, I put the ruler there for scale.
Okay, for scale.
Mm.
Can I have one moment here? Yes.
You going? Damn, bro. Here she come. Here come Henry, Dinkin, and Jarvis. Lordy.
Just a brief moment, if you can bear with me.
Bear with you. You've been sitting there a whole 30 minutes. You ought to be ready. Got a mess. She down. Ooh, Lord. Walking around the courtroom. Don't she supposed to be ready?
All right, sorry about that. Thank you. How are you today? Good. Good. All right. I want to ask you a couple of questions, specifically relating to your phenolphthalein testing that you do.
Sure.
Now, that is a presumptive blood test that you do, correct?
Correct.
And it is presumptive because it is not definitively blood if it tests positive, correct?
Correct.
This is what we call sometimes a color change test, right?
Yes.
And there are things other than blood that can cause the color to change, whatever color comes up positive.
Yes.
And what is that color? Is it a pink color?
Yes, it goes from colorless to a bright pink.
Okay. And I actually wanted to make sure. Sorry. Forgot.
You need to get yourself together. I wonder how many years you've been a defense lawyer. You gotta get yourself together, sister. I just don't understand. She been sitting right there at that table. And still.
All right. Mr. Terry showed you State's Exhibit C29, And this is that area that you swabbed that came up presumptive for blood, correct?
Yes.
The color that we see on this Q-tip, that is not the color that comes up when you swabbed the area, correct?
Correct.
That is the color that the Q-tip turns after you add your whatever chemicals to it.
That's correct.
Okay, wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Look how she looking at her.
Also then now turning to the blue star testing that you do, that is also not a confirmatory test for any kind of blood, correct?
Correct.
Several things can cause something to illuminate blue, including cleaning agents.
That's correct.
Showing you States Exhibit C32, this is one of those photographs where you get that blue illumination after your blue star, correct?
Yes.
And we can see, for example, that there is some blue star illuminating on the floor of the evidence section, correct?
Correct.
And we have this blue star that is perfectly outlining the side of the door, correct?
Yes.
And this is all in the back the back driver's seat of the vehicle.
Yes, the rear passenger, or rear driver, sorry, rear driver's seat.
Rear driver's seat, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to confuse you there. Mr. Terry reviewed with you, I think we have, 34 photographs here. But you took a lot more than 34 photographs when you processed this vehicle, correct?
Correct.
You took, I think, over 200?
I would have to reference my supplement, but that sounds correct.
Okay. Do you have your supplement with you to
Yes.
reference?
Yes,
If
I
you
do.
want to take a look at that to refresh your memory, go ahead.
Yes, I did. I took 223 photos at the impound lot.
And part of the photos that we did not see today in States Exhibit C1 through 34 is the blue star illumination in the front passenger seat of the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
There was no blue star illumination anywhere else other than that back driver's side passenger seat and that front passenger seat.
I believe there was some more in the vehicle as well.
Okay, all right, talk to me about that. Where are there other areas where there was blue star illumination?
The interior driver's side front door and those window buttons.
Okay.
Which I then swapped. That we've talked about the driver's side rear.
Right.
But there was also the passenger side rear seat as well.
Okay. And are there any other areas?
I don't recall.
Okay. The only area that you saw in these photographs that the state has introduced was that back driver's side, correct?
I believe that was all, yes.
Okay. As far as any items to be collected, when you're collecting items, are you wearing protective items on your hands?
Yes, I'm wearing gloves.
And is that to make sure that you are not transferring your own fingerprints or your own DNA onto other items?
That's correct.
Okay. Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Mm-mm.
Ms. Moore, I'd like to draw your attention to that black jacket that was introduced. You did some swabbing on that jacket. Is that right?
I did not.
You did not. You're right. I'm sorry. You collected that item, but you did not do any processing on it.
Correct.
So no swabbing.
Why?
Wear DNA.
No.
Okay. You also were not requested to do any swabbing for potential gunshot residue, were you?
No.
Okay. Nothing else. Thank you very much.
Why y'all didn't get no swap on it? What? On his jacket. Oh.
The pictures of the blue star that came up on the driver's side, most like the control buttons where the window is and all of that.
Yes.
And did you swap that?
I did.
Okay. And on the passenger side, you also found blue star lit up in a certain area. Do you recall where that was?
Yeah, the interior door.
The interior door.
Yes.
Did you swap that?
Yes, I did.
Do you know if those swabs were sent to FDLE and what the results are for those, or whether or not they even gave any chemical indication of blood at FDLE?
I don't know.
Okay. So you don't know that. So you don't know whether or not those came back relevant at all.
No, I do not.
So how you remember?
And as far as the jacket, do you know you know whether or not FDLE will do their own swabbing and testing of articles?
I know they will, yes.
Okay. So you don't know if that jacket was sent to FDLE and whether or not they swabbed it or processed it?
I do not know.
All right. Thank you. No further questions. That's right.
Lord have mercy, boy. These detectives and stuff don't be doing their jobs. They just be getting the money. The whole big black jacket. Lord have mercy, y'all. Yeah, I think they're gonna start right here. Uh, I think they gotta wait, y'all. They finished, but if I see anything else, I bring it to y'all attention. And I want to thank y'all, those who watched and stayed in the car. I want to put it on him right quick. Hold on. Let me see, can I find? There you go, right there. There you go. Yeah, boy. Who you looking for? Your superpower. Look at you. Who he looking for? Who he looking for? That's what I'm trying to find out. Who he looking for? There you go. You'll be ashamed yourself. The superhero. Probably you going to jail this time. You ain't gonna be no overturn. Nothing. Nothing. I have heard enough evidence tonight to convince him, Henry Dinkins, Jarvis Butts, all together. And what's his name? Jonathan. I have enough. I mean, all of them got them little piece of cars. All of them think they cute. You got Jonathan. I don't know what kind of car Jonathan had. And then you had Henry Dinkins. He had his little cars that can get young girls' attention. They like fast cars, Camaros. And then you got Jarvis, but we ain't never seen his hoopty, his big white Cadillac truck. We ain't seen his yet. And then you got this one right here. Mess. Ronnie Walker. All these kind of, I just don't see what these 14-year-old. When I was 14, I liked the boys who was younger. Either they were younger. I'm 14. They may be 13. They right there where we still in the same grade. Well, either they 1 year or 1 year older. Either I like the older guys in high school. It never been guys out of high school. What in the world is a 14-year-old want to see this 44-year-old man? It's the same way Jarvis Butts. Now, Briasia didn't even have no thought of this in her mind. But then you had Jonathan with that other girl, Ayana. All the what is it? Cars? I thought things changed now. But y'all, they have enough evidence to take this joker right here with these old-fashioned superpowers down. And ain't nothing gonna be overturned no more. You gonna get it this time. Net Pettywet. Give a dog a bone. You going down. You have to do that 14-year-old girl like that. And I thought I heard, I don't know what kind of, I know, what his name, y'all? Robert said that he heard 2 shots. But good Jesus, when I just heard it off the ring camera, it sounded like I heard 5 shots. Why you do that girl like that? Like he hear me. Why you do that girl like that, Ronny? 44-year-old. See, if your girlfriend who understand now is 44 now, she wasn't no more than about 30 or 29. If your girlfriend who just took that, your ex-girlfriend, because she don't find her a new man, if she 44 now, she had to be like 30 then. No, she had to be younger than that. You scared of them women like me. Because you ain't my type no way. Y'all, I just want to come in here and have a little fun, but I want the truth to come out. I want the facts to come out. I ain't taking no, I'm being hard on him because this shouldn't happen. But one thing I want to do, tell the young girls to make better decisions because it's too much going on now than it used to be. I know y'all want to be grown fast and all that stuff like that. Slow down, enjoy yourself as a teenager. Because time different than what it was when your mama was coming up. I don't know what happened to this beautiful young lady for her to be with her adopted mother when she was 2 years old, and then now 11-year old in middle school. Now who brought up to her about her mama? Now all of a sudden she want to know about her adopted parents. Now she want to know about her biological parents. Something just ain't sounding right to me. And then she run away, and she never ran away before. When she got in high school, 14, these girls are too young to be going through this, y'all. With the grown over superpower, playing they superheroes, and get mad with them. But she did had a disease. She did have chlamydia and gonorrhea. She did have a disease. Usually they run together, but she did have one. And he got mad. He got mad because she gave it to him and he gave it to his girlfriend. You wasn't supposed to be cheating no way. Y'all stop all this cheating out here. You got a good woman, hold on to. You got a good man, hold on to him. But if they ain't making you happy, leave them alone. y'all like, share, and subscribe. Love y'all. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. But if I can see something new about this case, I'm gonna get it. This just one girl that took the. I haven't seen Erica Hudson yet. I haven't seen Erica Hudson. But I just want to let y'all know, for those who new to this trial, uh, that this man had already been convicted one time in unalive a woman, and then they overturned and let him out, and then now he back in there again. So let's take him down, y'all. Like, I love y'all. Be safe out there, man. Call me if you need me.